let's go ahead and take our nice, comfortable seat and kind of check in with ourselves today. So you can sit however you like. Let's just take a moment and really try and get the spine nice and straight and aligned. We'll take a deep inhale through the nose. A big exhale through the mouth. That just kind of lets us know it's time for yoga. Shoulders are relaxed. Close your eyes if that feels good to you. Just kind of take a moment, notice how your body feels. And then let's start breathing deep and slow. Check in with your thoughts. Check in with your emotions. And check in with your energy. And let's just each take a moment to set our own intention for practice today. So bring your palms together in front of your heart. Be really clear about what would be best for you, what you need. And then take a nice deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Good. Just release your hands down to your knees. I'm going to start you off with some nice, yummy torso circles. Our emphasis kind of for today, we're going to do a lot of side bending. We're going to do a lot of opening really of just the whole torso, but predominantly focusing on opening up the sides. And so this is a good way to get started. As you exhale, and just keep your breath real slow and gentle. As you exhale, you're leaning forward and around and inhaling as you're leaning back. So you're just kind of opening up the whole torso, feeling your hips. And we're going to go 3 times in each direction. Make sure you pause wherever you need to so that your breath will still be coordinated with your movements as you change to go the other way. Come all the way back up to the center when you're done with your circles and roll your shoulders back. And then we'll just begin with this easy side bend, and we're going to kind of do it with the breath. So you won't be pushing too far into it. We've got plenty of time for our practice today to do that. So go ahead and put your right hand on the ground. And we're not going to be doing the sliding it out, so because we're not going to have that much time. So what we're going to do is put the right hand on the ground. We're going to inhale the left arm up. Exhale, bend the right elbow to get a nice side bend. And then inhale back up. Left hand to the ground on the exhale. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale back up. Exhale, right hand on the ground. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, bend your elbows, stretch. Inhale back up. Exhale, left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, bend your left elbow, stretch the right side. We're going one more time on each side. So just inhaling up. Exhaling the right hand down. Inhaling the left hand up. Exhaling, lean to your right. Inhaling, coming back up. Exhaling the left hand to the ground. Inhaling the right arm up. Exhaling, leaning to the left. Go ahead and just come all the way back up and take that right hand all the way around behind you. Left hand on your right knee. Take a moment to do a nice straight spine seated twist. And then rotate all the way around to the opposite side. Left hand behind you, right hand on the left knee. Gentle seated twist in this direction. Just have a nice straight spine. And come back to the center. From here, we'll just move on to hands and knees. I'm going to have you arching around a couple of times. And then we're going to do a little side bend here. So when we do cat-cow and arching round, we're opening up front side of the torso and back side of the torso. Now we want to open up the true sides of the torso. So just take both of your feet to the right. Look over your right shoulder, poke that left rib cage out. Take a couple of breaths here. You should feel your left side getting a nice stretch. Go ahead and bring the feet all the way around to the left and look over your left shoulder. Kind of poke that right rib cage out. Take a couple breaths here. Come back to the center, and I want you to just turn your toes under and take a downward facing dog. You can move a little bit on this first one if you need to. And then let's go ahead and walk the feet forward. Keep your knees bent. Take a couple of breaths. Just dangling here, your ragdoll. And then inhale, reach the arms up, all the way up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Okay. We're just going to take a big inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale to your right side. Inhale, back up. Exhale to your left side. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the right side again. So we're still keeping it gentle. We're going to get a little deeper in a moment. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the left. One more time on each side. Inhale up. Exhale as you lean to the right. It's like you're just kind of waving your body side to side. Inhale up, and as you exhale, lean to your left. Inhale back to the center, and this time, exhale, forward bend all the way down. Inhale, look up halfway, and then exhale back down. We're going to step back with our left foot. Starting with this nice right foot forward lunge. Take a couple of breaths. And then drop your left knee down. We'll bring the hands to the top of the right thigh. Tilt your pelvis back. Let the hips sink forward a little bit so you feel your stretch in front of the left hip. And then we're going to take the left arm up into the air. And you'll have a few breaths to explore here and kind of experiment. But I want you to get the whole left side of your torso to open. So if you can, maybe you're leaning a little to the right. I kind of like to lean back and to the right. You want to feel really everything from your left hip to your left armpit stretching. And then we'll take both hands down, one on either side of the right foot. Extend your right leg. Flex the ankle and toes. Just take a couple breaths here. And then we're just going to take the right knee back to meet the left knee. Go ahead and take a child's pose. Everybody take this first slow flow with me. And then after that, those of you that prefer full-on vinyasanas are welcome to take them. So from this first child's pose, we're going to slide forward into a low cobra. So hands are under the shoulders, and I want you to just push up just enough that you can get the top part of the rib cage off your mat. And then just kind of twist and look over your right shoulder. A big twist. You're going to feel your left rib cage poke out. Stretch that left side. Twist and look over your left shoulder. Kind of like you're trying to see your right heel. Poke that right rib cage out. Breathe. Good. Come back to the center. Toes turn under. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. And then from here, we'll take a big step forward with our left foot. And just hold your lunge for a couple breaths. Drop that right knee down. Bring your hands to the top of your left thigh. Pelvis tilts back, hips move forward. We find the hip stretch first. Then we go ahead and take that right arm up. We start trying to lengthen the right side of the torso. So you want to kind of play with this. Everybody's a little different. So just feel your way into it. Maybe leaning a little to the left and maybe even adding a little bit of a backward lean. And then we're going to take both hands down to the mat, one on either side of the left foot. Gaze forward, straighten out that left leg. Flex the ankle and toes. Pull your heart forward. And then from here, just step forward to a standing forward bend. Now, while you're here in your standing forward bend, go ahead and bring your feet all the way together if you can, please. Bend the knees a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Squeeze them together tightly and keep them pointing forward. And you're going to walk your hands around like towards your right heel. So what you're doing is creating length on the left side of your torso. You should feel this left hip, left side of your low back, left side of the waist. Keep those knees squeezed together, pointing forward. Walk your hands around to the left. Same thing. Now you should be feeling it on the right side. And come back around to the center. Straighten your legs if you like. Take a big inhale. Come all the way back up. And exhale. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. So I want you to step your feet to the edges of the mat. Toes point forward. We're going to be doing a yogic squat with a side bend. There's two ways to do this, and it'll depend on your knees. So I'm going to show you the modified version first. My friends who have knee issues that need to protect them, you'll keep your heels flat, drop your bum. You'll rest, for instance, in this case, left forearm on left thigh and reach the right arm over and then switch sides. That's how you'll get your side bend. Those of you that can keep your heels flat and get your bum low enough that you can get a hand to the ground, that's where we'll side bend from. So go ahead and drop your tailbone to whatever degree you can. If you can't get the bum kind of all the way down, please put your left hand on the floor if you're far enough down, or if you're modifying left forearm on the left thigh. So what we're going to do is take that right arm over to the left. We're stretching out the right side of the torso. And you can do this with your left forearm on your thigh or your left hand on the floor. And then we're just going to switch sides. You're either going to bring right forearm onto the thigh or right hand onto the floor. Left arm is reaching up and over. And then we're going to come all the way back up and keep our feet exactly where they are. So this is our first easier standing side bend. You're going to put your right hand on your right thigh, reach the left arm up, and I want you to reach it really high up. You should actually feel your left shoulder blade lift a little bit. Try and keep your torso vertical. So we don't want to throw the hips forward or push them way back. And then just start sliding your right hand down your right leg. So now you're starting to get a little bit deeper into these side bends. Take a few breaths. Go ahead and come on back up. Let that right hand meet the left hand. Left hand is going to come down onto your left thigh. Reach your right arm really high so your right shoulder blade lifts. Slide that left hand down your left leg. Take some good breaths here. This is a pretty deep side bend. And come all the way back up. Bring your feet together. Bring your palms together. Inhale, reach up and stretch. And exhale, fold forward. Standing forward bend. Inhale and look up halfway. And then go all the way back down. So we're going to step back with our left foot. Spin the left heel flat and come up into a warrior two. Just take a moment and find correct leg and knee alignment because we're going to reverse our warrior. So put your left hand on your left thigh. Keep your right knee bent. Keep it pressing towards the little toe and take the right arm up and overhead. Take a couple of breaths here. Come all the way back up and straighten your right leg. And I want you to lengthen your right rib cage out to the right. We're really focusing on length today on both sides of the spine. So don't sacrifice that. Just let that right hand come down to your right shin or foot, wherever it needs to be. Left hand to the ceiling and focus on maintaining length on the right side of the spine. Bring your right hand down. Pause for a moment. Lengthen over your right leg. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, back down. And this time, step back with your right foot. Spin the heel flat and rise up into your warrior two. And again, pause. You want to make sure your body is where it's supposed to be. So make sure your knee is tracking over the second toe, that you keep that left knee bent. And then put your right hand on your right thigh and reverse your warrior. So you should really feel the left side of your torso stretching here. Come all the way back up. Straighten your left leg. And we lengthen the left side of the spine. We've just stretched it. Let's keep it long. Left hand to the shin or the foot or the floor. Right hand up, but we want to keep left side of the spine long. Bring that right hand down, lengthen out over your left leg, and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale and reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So now if you can, I'd like you to keep your feet together. Interlace your fingers, but extend your index fingers up and reach them straight overhead. Now we're going for a really deep standing side bend. Keep both legs straight. Don't let those hips shoot forward. Keep really pretty straight with your posture and simply lean to the right. Now your head can rest on your right upper arm, but you want to really feel that left side of your body stretching now. This is a nice deep one. Take a few breaths. On your next inhale, come on up. And we're just gonna lean to the left. Remember, try to keep your hips aligned over your heels. Don't let your bum stick out or shoot forward. You can let your head rest on your left upper arm. And then on your next inhale, come back up. And as you exhale, go ahead and fold all the way forward. Look up halfway. And then back down. We're going to step straight back to downward facing dog. Really push the tailbone back. If you feel like you can, I would love for you to take your right leg into the air, bend the knee, and roll the hip bone open, focusing on lengthening from your right armpit to your right knee. Right side of the spine is stretching, and then just put your right foot back down, left leg up in the air, bend the knee, roll that hip bone open, armpit to knee, stretching and lengthening on the left side. Left leg comes back down, drop to your knees. Keep your arms extended in front of you as you move into child's pose. So this is an extended child's pose. We're going to keep the navel between the knees and just walk the hands a little bit over to the right. Poke the left rib cage out to the left and take a couple of breaths. Walk those hands a little bit over to the left now and poke your right rib cage out to the right. Come back to the center. Those of you that are itching for a vinyasa, off you go. The rest of us might be itching for Sphinx, so that's where we're headed. Just take a moment and really lengthen your spine. You've been doing a lot of lateral opening. It's nice to allow the spine to just lengthen here. Even take an extra breath if you need it. And then downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward. Big inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. All right, our balance pose is kind of like an extension of triangle. It's going to be a half moon. If you need a block to hang on to, or if you need a table or a chair or something else to hang on to, I'm fine with that. I really just want you to feel the lengthening of the spine. In fact, if you have enough wall space, you can do this with your back against the wall. We're going to stand on the right foot first. And so just a reminder, your right hand will be torso distance in front of your right foot. The closer it is to your foot, the harder it is to balance. So don't make that mistake. If you're using a block, your right hand will go on the block, or it can be on a stool or a chair. Otherwise, right hand is to the ground. We're trying to bring this left leg parallel to the floor. But most importantly, lengthen right side of the spine as we take that left hand up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and come on out from that. And we'll do the left side. So your left hand will be torso distance in front of your left foot. Make sure you're keeping length on the left side of your body. Right leg extends if you can. Right hand reaches for the ceiling. And we want to lengthen the left side of the spine. And come on back up to standing. Come to the front of the mat with your feet together and your palms together, and take a big inhale, reach the arms up and stretch. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, back down. We're going to step back onto our hands and knees and come up to kneeling. So our peak pose for the practice today is Padigasana, locked gate posture. And the reason it's the peak pose is because you'll be able to get your deepest side bend, but you're going to be able to keep it really safe and stable because you'll have a tripod to balance on. So we're going to start by taking our right leg out to the right with the leg straight and the foot flat. So you've got your left shin, your left knee, your left foot is on the ground. Your right leg is like a kickstand with the right foot out. You're going to put your right hand on your right thigh. Reach that left arm up and then really reach it up. So like your whole left shoulder blade lifts. You're going to take your time here and start breathing your way to the right. So every time you exhale, maybe your right hand slides a little farther down your right leg and you breathe. It's like you're sending all of your air into your left lung. Come all the way back up and tuck that right knee underneath you. And then take the left leg out to the left. So your left leg is nice and straight. The whole sole of your left foot is on the ground. You want to feel solid and stable here. You shouldn't have to worry about wobbling. It's all about opening up, in this case, the right side. So we'll put our left hand on our left leg. Take that right arm up in the air. Reach it as high up as we can until the right shoulder blade lifts. And then we start breathing our way down our left leg. So every time we exhale, maybe that left hand slides a little farther down the left leg. And then we send all of our air into our right lung, right rib cage. Excellent job. Come all the way back up. Move onto your hands and knees, and now I'd like you to wag your tail. So you've been loosening up your sides a lot. That means your hips should move pretty easily. Here, give yourself a good tail wag. Those of you doing vinyasas, you may take your last one. Everybody that's hanging on the easier end of things with me, let's take a child's pose. Really breathe into your low back. So even though we're emphasizing the sides of the torso, we don't want to neglect the back and the front. Send your air into your low back. And then from child's pose, you can either scoot into Sphinx or Cobra, whichever one feels better to you. And then downward facing dog. Lengthen your spine as much as possible here. And then you can just walk your feet forward and have a seat in Dandasana, staff pose. Legs are extended. We're going to find nice active legs. So you're going to flex your feet, press your heels into the mat, press the backs of the knees into the mat, press your sit bones into the mat, lift the crown of the head, drop the shoulders. Take a couple of breaths here. And then on your next inhale, just raise your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, lay yourself out over both legs. So today it is completely up to you and whatever feels best to you, whether you lengthen your spine here or round the back. You can do whichever one feels better for you. Just take a couple breaths. And then come on up from that. We're going to keep the right leg straight. I want you to bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh and lean out over that right leg. So wherever your right hand is a great place to leave it. We're just going to turn this into another side bend. So keeping your right hand wherever it is, calf, ankle, foot, doesn't matter. I want you to kind of start to just rotate your torso to the left. Like you're going to take your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then if it feels okay, you're going to reach your left arm parallel to the ground. It's over your head. Some of you guys might even be able to let that left elbow bend and grab the right foot. If you want to, that's fine. It's totally personal preference. But we're continuing to try and roll the left armpit towards the ceiling. So we're trying to get true side stretch. You should be pushing strongly through your left hip into the floor and breathing all of your air into your left lung. Come on up from that. And then just to kind of help us unwind before we do a twist, I want you to just lean out over your right leg again. Let your left hand be wherever your right hand was. Put your right hand by your right hip. Maybe bend that left elbow a little bit and twist to look over your right shoulder. And then come on up from that. Sit up nice and tall. Pick your left foot up and bring it across your right thigh. We're going to leave the right leg straight. Your whole left foot should be flat. So we have been really opening up all of our torso muscles. Now we're going to give our internal organs a little love. It's like we're squeezing and soaking the organs. So squeeze being the operative word here. Lift up through your chest and take your left hand behind you. I want you to do your deepest twist possible here. So if you can, you might want to bring that right arm outside the left leg so that you've got a little bit of leverage. You can kind of press against your leg to get a little more twist, and then just breathe. You should feel very constricted in your midsection. Excellent job. Come all the way out of it. Extend your left leg. Wiggle those legs a little bit. We're going to keep the left leg straight. Now bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Lean out over your left leg. Just lengthen for a few breaths. So wherever that left hand is, it's a good place to leave it. We're just going to start to rotate our chest to the right. What you can do is try to get your right armpit to face the ceiling. Right arm reaches up. And then if you can, you reach your right arm over your head. So it's parallel to the ground, pushing your right hip into the mat. And maybe that's a good place to be. Those of you that like, you're welcome to grab the right foot and keep rolling the chest open. Do whichever gives you the best stretch. Send all of your air into your right lung. And then let's just kind of help this unwind. Put your right hand wherever your left hand was. Put your left hand by your hip. Pull a little bit to bend your right elbow and then twist and look over the left shoulder. Come on up from that. And again, we're going to give the internal organs some love. Pick your right foot up, bring it across your left thigh. Right foot is flat. Nice straight spine. Right hand is right behind you. We're doing the deepest twist we can, and that's different for everybody, right? You do your deepest twist. Find your correct amount of constriction in your midsection, looking over that right shoulder, and just breathe. And as you unwind, extend your right leg out. Give both legs a good wiggle. You're going to open your legs into a wide V and make sure you're on your sit bones. We're going to do a little side bend first, and then we'll lean forward. But even so, I'd like you to keep your feet active, toes pointing up, please. Just tuck the fingertips of your right hand underneath the inside of your left thigh. So your right elbow can kind of rest on the right thigh. So you're going to be leaning on that. And then reach your left arm up and over. Stretch. Come on up and switch. Left fingertips very lightly tuck under the inner right thigh. Left elbow or forearm is on the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Good. Come on up from that. Lift up through your torso. You're just going to rotate to your right. Bring your hands down. So your left hand will be in the center between your legs and your right hand will be behind you. Lift up to your chest. Gently lean out over that right leg. Come on up from that and just rotate around. Now you're going to lean out over that left leg. Come on up, and now you can just take your chest forward and take a few breaths here. Remember, we're trying to lengthen both sides of the waist. So really pull your chest forward, take a few breaths. And slowly walk your hands back up. You can use your hands to help bring your legs together. Give them a good wiggle. And then we are rolling onto our backs to hug the knees in. Rock side to side. So our inversion today is just going to be bridge pose. If you're able to do it without a block, that would be awesome because we want to keep lengthening the spine. But if you need to put your hips on a block, that's okay. You want to bring your big toes to touch, separate the heels so they're sit bone distance apart, and get your heels as close to your bum as possible. It's okay with me if you want to interlace your fingers underneath you today. Or you can just have your hands, palms flat by your hips, or you can even grab your heels. But we're going to lift the tailbone up, the low back up, and maybe the mid back up. But what I want you to really focus on is all parts of the feet pressing into the mat, but the spine is lengthening. So you're lifting your rib cage, you're pushing your hips towards your knees. You are trying to create really, really long sides of the waist. Keep lengthening. We've got 3 more breaths. On your next exhale, slowly roll lower down, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. Keep your right knee hugged into your chest. Extend your left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hug it in for a moment. Now, if you're able to do a fairly deep twist, I'll talk you through that. And if you need to modify it, remember the best way to modify a twist is to bend both knees. So please do what's best for your back, but we're going to still be kind of stretching out the sides of the waist. So if you're able to hook the toes of your right foot inside or behind your left thigh, open the right arm out to the right. You can just kind of twist yourself over the left. Stay here for a breath or two, just to kind of let everything lengthen and stretch. And of course, be sensitive to any shoulder issues too. Remember, I'm just making suggestions. You don't have to do this. If you're okay with it, and everybody's different as far as flexibility. The back of the right hand is either on the floor or it's facing the floor. We're going to kind of act like we're doing a half snow angel with our right arm. You're going to just start slowly sliding the back of the hand along the floor, keeping that right arm straight until you get your right arm up and over your head. Now you should be feeling a lot of length, again, from right armpit to right hip. Let's breathe into that. Slowly let that right arm slide back out to the side. Take a couple more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, just come on back up. And as you exhale, hug your right knee into your chest. Bring your left knee up to meet it, rock side to side. Keep left knee hugged in, extend right leg out. Just hug that left knee. So same thing, do the twist however you need to. If you need to bend both knees, go for it. If you're able to hook the toes of the left foot inside or behind that right knee or thigh, that would be preferential, but you don't have to. Pull yourself over into a twist to the right with your left arm opening out to the left. Pause here for a couple of breaths, letting the left side of your spine lengthen and stretch. And then same thing, we're going to just really slowly start sliding the back of the hand along the floor or above the floor until that left arm is up and overhead. Get a little extra stretch on that left side of the waist and torso. And then let that left arm come back down. So it's out to the left. Take a couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, bring that left knee back up as you exhale, hug it in. Bring your right knee up to meet it, rock side to side. And then go ahead and reach down and grab the outside edges of your feet or your ankles and wiggle around a little bit in happy baby. Just take a few moments to address anything in the hips or the hamstrings or the low back. Take a couple more breaths. And then when you feel like you're ready, go ahead and place your feet flat on the mat with your ankles and knees together. And we're just going to do that breath-centered movement where you let both knees drop a little bit to one side. You inhale the legs back up. And as you exhale, they drop a little bit the other way. Now, as you continue to inhale and exhale and roll the hips side to side, you can decide for yourself if those movements should get bigger and bigger until you're doing kind of a full-on rolling twist, or if you prefer to keep them as small, subtle movements. But when the knees drop over, you should feel lengthening on the side of your body. Inhaling the legs up, exhaling them to one side. We'll do a few more times on each side. When you're ready, or when you feel like you're even, you can just allow the knees to drop open with the soles of the feet together. And let's do our final low back lengthening move. We're going to inhale and press the low back into the mat by tilting the pelvis back. Hold that while you exhale. Just keep breathing normally. And inhale. On your next exhale, just release and let the natural arch come back into your low back. Pause for a moment. And then just one more time, inhale, press your low back into the mat. Keep breathing, normal breathing until your next exhale, and then you just release and go ahead and extend your legs. Wiggle them a little bit if you need to. And then just ever so slightly lift between your shoulder blades and lengthen your spine. So pull your shoulder blades away from your hips and then just barely lift your head, lengthening the neck by tucking the chin in and putting the head back down. Allow your arms to find the best angle for today. Hands below shoulders, palms facing up, and then just take that deep inhale. And exhale through your mouth. And allow everything to soften. Just settling in. So truly, this pose, Shavasana, translates as corpse pose. You're lying like a dead person on your back. And what that means is that you just literally let go of everything. You let go of the tension in your body. You let go of control of your breath. You let go of any attachment to your thoughts. You just don't even care. They might still be running back there, but whatever. You're not paying attention to them. You let go basically of any expectation, any judgment, any idea of what your practice should have been like, was like. You let go of anything that's going to come after your practice. So we let go of the past, we let go of the future. We just let go of everything. So all that's left is just this moment right here that we're actually living in. That's it. That's all that's left. And that's where we should be anyway, in the moment that we're actually living in. So for these next few minutes, I would love for you to just stay present. Don't make up stories about stuff. Don't go backwards into the past. Don't project forward into the future. Don't initiate any thoughts or analyses, anything at all. You're just simply lying there and breathing and experiencing this moment right now, right here, and that's it. If you find that your mind has carried you off somewhere other than this moment right here, right now, it's okay. Just start over, just begin again. That's what we do. We just start over and over as often as we need to. Just begin to feel back into your body. Begin to move your fingers and toes a little bit. Take a deep breath in, spread your fingers and toes. Exhale through your mouth, relax your fingers and toes. Inhale, stretch a little deeper, stretch through your arms and legs. Exhale through your mouth with a sigh as you relax everything again. And then bend the knees. So either just bending your knees and letting your feet be on the floor, or bending your knees and hugging them into your chest, whichever feels better to you. And go ahead and roll to your right side. And press yourself up into sitting, and I want you to just come back to that same really nice, straight, vertical, aligned posture that you had when we first began. And so for our pranayama, we're going to do a slightly different kind of breath work. What I'd like you to do is imagine that your torso is like a square or a rectangle, but it's not the entire torso. So the top horizontal line would go across your collarbone from the top of each shoulder to the top of each shoulder. From there, straight down to the bottom of the rib cage and then across. So the bottom part of your square or rectangle will be a little bit above your navel. It's where the bottom part of the rib cage is. So it's like you have this square or rectangle that is your upper torso. I want you to just imagine that with me, humor me. And then keeping your spine straight, just close your eyes. So much of what you have done today that has loosened all of these muscles is actually fantastic for improving respiration or breath, because a lot of these are respiratory muscles. They're very pliable right now. So what better way to take advantage of it than by moving our breath around? And that's what we're going to do. So eyes are closed, spine is straight. You know where your imaginary square or rectangle is in your torso, and I want you to begin by breathing into just the upper left corner. Imagine you're only breathing into the upper left corner of your square or rectangle. And now switch it to just the right upper corner, only the right upper corner. Now move it to just the right bottom corner, the lower right corner. And then switch to the bottom left corner, the lower left corner. Now breathing into the left, lower, and upper corner at the same time, just the left side. Breathing into just the right side, upper and lower corners of the right side. Now both top corners, only the upper corners, left and right side, top side only. Two bottom corners. And now finally, breathing into all four corners at the same time, expanding the size of your square or rectangle so that when you exhale, that size remains and the next breath expands it even more. Breathe into all four corners simultaneously. And just slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let your breath return to normal. Just notice how you feel. And take a moment in gratitude right now for your internal organs. I know if you practice gratitude regularly like I do, it's pretty easy to be grateful for like our eyesight and our hearing and our touch, like our hands and feet. But how often are you actually grateful for your internal organs? Take a moment right now and just say thank you to your liver and your spleen and your kidneys and your heart and your lungs and your intestines and all of the good stuff that's in there, your pancreas. There are so many things working for you that you probably never even spend time being grateful for. So send a little thanks and gratitude to the organs. They should feel very nourished after today's practice. And then take a moment in gratitude for today's practice. And we are so fortunate to have this beautiful discipline of yoga. Take one more big inhale. Big exhale. Palms to the forehead, just reminding us to be present. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth. And palms to the heart, reminding us to just keep our hearts open, open, wide open. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.